Hello you lot, this is Keith Cooks, I'm Keith, and today I'm going to have a go at something that I've never heard of, tried, experienced before. I'm going to make a Jig's dinner from Newfoundland. So this was requested by Jen Ford, and when I saw the request I'm like, don't know. Anyway, I looked it up and it's very interesting. It's got peas pudding in it, which is something that always appeals to me. So basically, Jig's dinner comes from a comic strip that was very popular in North America last century called Bringing Up Father. Jig's is an Irish immigrant who wins $1 million, changes his life, he doesn't like it. He wants to hang out with his buddies and eat boiled beef and cabbage. But his upwardly mobile missus objects to this, and I think the whole thing is built around the idea of him wanting to get back to his roots and his wife wanting to stop him. Yes, sounds like fun. So the Newfoundland Jig's dinner, or Sunday dinner, it's also known as, well, taken the basic boiled beef and carrots and just added everything to it. So it's peas pudding, assorted root vegetables, a chicken or a turkey, maybe stuffing, and also figgy duff, which is a kind of steamed or boiled raisin pudding, which I'm not going to do today because that's just too much. Anyway, so there's quite a lot of stuff about this recipe that's mystifying to me, so I'll put a call out on YouTube community, on my community tab, and got some very helpful answers from Karen Daly, Kevin Byrne, Nigel Daly and Tony Casey. So thank you guys and others. I do appreciate it. I'd have been really stuck without some of those helpful remarks. Anyway, I'm wishing again. Let's get on with it. Now the crucial ingredient of a Jig's dinner is boiled beef. So the beef apparently is salt beef or corned beef, proper corned beef, both of which are not easy to get around these parts. And I know I could have got them if I tried a bit harder, but it occurred to me I did make a quick corned beef recipe many years ago that was wonderful. So I'm going to do that, and I need to have started that 2 days ago. So I've added just under half a cup of salt. So that's about 10% of the volume of water, and then about half that quantity, 5% of sugar. So this is my brisket. It's teeny weeny, so I'm only making a litre of brine solution, yeah, this is a 600 gram bit of brisket. Okay, I think the salt and sugar have dissolved, so we can turn off the heat. And we need to add 1 tablespoon of pickling spice and 1 teaspoon of celery salt or Prague powder or Instacure, and a teaspoon of minced garlic. And then we need to leave it to cool completely. Okay, that's nice and cool, so I'll pop the brisket in there and we leave that to soak, brine, whatever, for 24 to 30 hours. Is my salted cured brisket, so that's had about 36 hours, so that should be nicely done. Now I need to give that a really good rinse under cold water, and the rest of the ingredients for the first bit, the boil: a pig's trotter, a medium onion, a few sticks of celery, a couple of carrots and a cup of yellow split peas for the peas pudding. Right, I'm going to pop the salt beef in a big pot, and I'm keeping the string on because it'll just fall to bits otherwise. And the pig's trotter, no, I'll just give that a rinse. Okay, in we go. And the brining liquid. Now I need to chop the veggies. Pop that in there. And I'll just top that up with water so it's all covered, and then on the stove bring it to the boil. This is for the peas pudding. You have to have yellow split peas, there is no alternatives. You might be able to make something like it with lentils or something else, but it won't be peas pudding. So, muslin cheesecloth, loosely tied. The Newfies actually have dedicated bags for doing this. so they sewn up and have a drawstring, but, well, I don't. So I've left that nice and loose. There's plenty of room for that to expand, but I want to somehow hook this over a handle so it doesn't sink down into the stock. Wish me luck. So the beef needs to boil or simmer for about 5 hours until it's pretty much falling to bits. But the peas pudding should only take 1 or 2 hours, and you need to take it out when the split peas are turning to mush. Right, I've just got back from shopping and being Mrs. Keith Cook's chauffeur, so I need to get the chicken in the oven before I do anything else, explain what's going on. So I've got the oven heating to 180 Celsius for a fan oven, that's 200 for a conventional one, and gas on the screen. So here's my chick. It's 1.4 kilos, and I'm gonna get a load of butter and just distribute it around the chicken. And actually that can go in an oven-proof dish which contains a sort of trivet of an onion, stick of celery, a little carrot. So in you go, tight fit, that's okay. And then we'll give it a good old grind of black pepper and some coarse sea salt, and boil a bit of water. I'll slap this in the oven. And pop a bit of boiling water into the bottom of the roasting dish. And I'm going to leave that in there for about 1 hour and a quarter and maybe turn it around halfway through. So before I went out, I prepped the veg. I got some potatoes which I've peeled and cut into big chunks, some carrots and some cabbage and some parsnips. You're also supposed to have a turnip, which to my mind looks like a Swede, but we're not going to go there because I hate them both and I'm not doing it. Right, so that's the veg, which will go in, you know, about half an hour from the end. And now I need to get some stuffing going, so I've got a load of breadcrumbs. I won't use all of that. And an onion. This needs slicing, dicing and sauteing in butter till it's nice and soft. So I've got a pan on medium heat. I'm melting a big knob of butter in there, and I'm going to add my diced onions and stir them around and cook them gently, or saute them gently for about 5 minutes till they're golden and soft but not brown. And while the camera's over here, I'll show you what's going on in the boil pan. Well, the brisket's looking good. That's almost done, I think. The pig's trotter has given up all of its gelatine and num num num. The stock is looking fantastic. The only problem is the yellow split peas, which don't seem to have totally surrendered after, what, I don't know, four hours. I know why. It's because I didn't soak them. I should have soaked them. But the packet instructions said don't soak them, no need to soak, which is a little tosh. And the onions, so I'm just going to put that into a bowl, and I want that to cool down. Okay, here's the brisket. I don't want to cook it anymore because it's just completely disintegrated into fibres. It's very nice fibres, but yeah. So that's cool. Next thing to do is make the stuffing. I always cook stuffing separately because it messes up the timing of cooking it inside a bird and everything. Okay, so I'm going to make a loaf of stuffing, and this much fills that about 2/3. So, a load of salt, a load of pepper, a load of thyme. I've seen Newfoundlanders use savoury, which is a rare, well, a herb that I've heard of but never come across in the wild or in the shops. So, so stir all that together and Add some water and some more. You want it to kind of all be absorbed by the breadcrumbs. These are homemade coarse breadcrumbs, by the way, not your namby-pamby super fine ones from the supermarket. Alright, that's fine. And big lump of butter melted in there. And nearly forgot the onions. Alright, we'll pop the stuffing in the loaf tin and we'll stick that in the oven. It needs to have at least 30 minutes, but and while we're in there, we'll baste the chicken. Right, put that back in for the rest of the cooking time. Now I've got a pan with some water in it. I'm going to add all the vegetables, but not the water they were soaked in. And I'll also add a bit of the cooking liquid from the meat. Not too much, because I've just tasted it. It's incredibly salty. It's tasty, but it's very salty, so be careful with it. And we bring that to the boil, and they need to simmer for 20-30 minutes till they're all nice and cooked. Okay, I'm going to see if I can turn these split peas into peas pudding. Actually, they're pretty good on the bottom. They have become like a puree. So it's just the ones on the top that maybe weren't submerged as much as they could have been or should have been. Old tatty masher. Alright, that's more or less getting there. I'll stick a load of butter in there. Yes, more butter! Mash that in with a fork. Alright, the vegetables are continuing to bubble away, but I've taken out the parsnips because they're done. I've never boiled a parsnip before in my life. I always roast them, but I reckon they were done after 10 minutes. Don't want to overdo them, do I? And, well, this here peas pudding is incredibly salty. Right, here's the chicken. I reckon that is cooked. Ooh, ow, that was hot. You can pop them on this warmed plate and tent it in foil. Let it rest for 15-20 minutes. Okay, to make the gravy, I'm just going to mash the little bits of vegetable that were in there. Usual drill, melt the world's last remaining blob of butter on medium heat and then stir in as much flour as you can. And I somehow managed to not get any footage of me adding any liquid to the gravy. So you just need to imagine I strained the liquid that the chicken was cooked over and stirred that into the roux to make a lovely thick tasty gravy. Right, here's your slightly amazing Jig's dinner. So let's grab a bit of everything. Bit of chicken, bit of the meaty stuff, and a bit of stuffing to go with the chicken. Right, and veggies. So, a couple of spuds, a couple of carrots, and a couple of parsnips, some peas pudding, and some cabbage. We all love cabbage, don't we? And there you go. Gravy. Do not forget the gravy. Look at that.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
That's my motto. Do not forget the gravy. Oh my goodness.
Feast.
Yes. Is one person supposed to eat all this?
Not all of it.
When he told me about this, I thought, this is a cartoon meal. Like, in the Beano, there's Desperate Dan, and he can eat so much. but mere human beings can't. But I hear that they do.
Well, let's have a go. Okay, it's taste test time. Right, she's here now. Mrs. Keith Coates. Yay! Right, there.
I can do this.
You can't. You're a weak and
My
feeble
Lord.
woman.
Oh, so this is the salt beef, yeah?
Yeah.
So, is it not the same as corned beef?
Yeah.
Oh, because I thought, yeah, I only know corned beef, you know, Fray Bentos out of a tin.
Yeah, no, when you make your own corned beef, it's very different. I don't know what Fray Bentos and the like do to their product, but it's not what I do. Anyway, so the chicken and stuff in. Mm-hmm. There's extremely salty peas pudding.
Why is it salty? You don't usually make it salty.
Mistake with the stock.
Oh.
Spuds, carrots, parsnips.
Yeah, that's salty.
Imaginary. Neeps.
Neeps? Neeps. Oh, no. We don't like turnips. Never have, never
Turnips. Yeah. Okay, got a joke. What's a sheep's favourite vegetable?
will. No idea.
Parsnip.
That's terrible! That is truly dreadful. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Well, do you know what? When Keith said he was going to do this, I thought, oh no, I really don't like boiled dinners. But this, I have to say, I like this.
Oh.
I surprised myself, but I figured if it was that popular with that many people, it had to be good.
No, I think there's only about 20 people live in Newfoundland.
Yeah, right.
That was probably a bad thing to say. Sorry, peeps.
Comfort food.
Well,
Isn't
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I first saw a picture, I thought cocido madrileño, which is presented in a similar way. It's all your vegetables, the same kind of root vegetables and that, are separate, but it's also got lots of meat. It's got beef, it's got a chicken, it's also got black pudding and chorizo, and it's just completely... and chickpeas and stock.
He loves it.
I do.
I don't.
It's completely over the top. But anyway, yeah, for a feast, you know, every other day, this is brilliant.
Yeah. Well, by usual standards, I'd say that cabbage is well overcooked, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
I
And
think
you
it's
know
meant
what?
to be.
I like the stuffing and the chicken. Right.
I forgot about the chicken.
You forgot about the chicken.
I've been so worried about this salt beef because, well, it's corned beef. But yeah. Anyway, I think we're done. So, thank you for watching. See you next time. That's Yorkshire, that.
Happen.